This week's episode is one that you really need to check out. Now, I know that I talk all the time about systems and processes and all the things that make entrepreneurship amazing. But this episode with Jordan is going to change things for you. Because in this episode, we're talking about impact and why it's important for you to balance things between your business as well as with your family. And there's one specific part that I really enjoy the most because I use the word balance, but Jordan clarifies why we shouldn't use that word. And I think it's so important for you to listen to it too, because you'll understand why I'm now changing my vocabulary around that. Because really and truly, making an impact in our business, but more importantly, an impact in our families is the reason why a lot of us choose this entrepreneurship journey. Now, we might have known from a young age that this is where we wanted to be, or maybe we might have been thrown into it. But I think the through line with all of us entrepreneurs is we do it for the freedom, for the ability to spend more time with our families, or continue those relationships that are so ultimately important to us. So this episode is one you're really going to want to tune in for because it could really make an impact for you, but more importantly, your family. Today's guest is a man of faith, family, and football with a background in coaching and entrepreneurship. As a dyslexic son of two school teachers, Jordan has learned to approach challenges in a unique way, leading him to success in his business ventures and as a father. On the podcast today, please welcome Jordan Abaroa, and we'll share his insights and experiences as an entrepreneur and dad, as well as how he helps other entrepreneurs achieve freedom at work and maximize their impact at home through the use of information technology. Hey, Jordan, how are you?
What is going on, Jill? It's good to be here. Good to talk to you today.
I know, I'm excited. So for those of our listeners that don't know, Jordan and I have worked together for, gosh, how many years? Like 10 years? Maybe more?
So it's been a long time. It's been awesome.
We have been through an evolution together as our families grow, as our businesses grow, so many things that have happened that we have been part of. But for those of our listeners that don't know you, tell us about your background and how you became an entrepreneur.
Oh, shoot. I mean, the funny thing is I'm an entrepreneur who never meant to be one. Like I was never meant to be an entrepreneur. I was never that kid that grew up selling, friggin' lemonade on the side of the streets or I never had a desire to do that. I literally am an entrepreneur because of necessity. That's it. I wanted to pursue a dream of mine of coaching football. And at the time I had an amazing job at an agency, marketing. It was awesome. It's actually where we met, was at that agency. And an opportunity came to coach football at a premier high school in Arizona. And football coaches don't make money. So I went to go pursue that dream of mine and coach football, and I loved it, but I also had to provide for my family. And that's really how I joined entrepreneurship, which it was out of necessity, but it was the best decision I've ever made in my life.
Well, and gives you so much freedom too, to not only pursue something that is your passion, but also to spend more time with your family, which is something that we're going to talk about today, is how can information technology and automation and all these different things that we have access to, how can those make our lives easier, but ultimately allow us to spend more time with our families and those people that we care about the most? What are some challenges that you face as an entrepreneur, and how did you overcome them? How did you use technology to make your life easier?
I mean, there's so much. I mean, I believe there's three currencies of life. It's time, energy, and money. There's three things that we can invest to get something back, right? Time, energy, and money, just like I said. And so as an entrepreneur, we are all short on all three of those on a pretty common basis. And time tends to be the one that always gets us the most, right? I wish I had more time in the day. I've heard that nonstop. And so, there's power in using software tools that are out there. There's brilliant people who have created amazing software, Infusionsoft, ActiveCampaign, this, that, so like ClickFunnels, all of these amazing tools that are out there. And all we have to do is just learn how to leverage them. And here's what ends up happening. We start to gain more time back in our day. That's the power of automation. That's the power of these tools, is that as we go and automate a trivial task of even like sending out a mass email to our clients, or responding to emails, right? Hey, out of office. All of these things are pretty common, but if we start to apply them in every aspect of our lives, when somebody opts in, can we walk them through an amazing experience that welcomes them, that loves them, that cares for them, that shows them the path of where to go next? Can we automate a scheduling link? Can we automate responses and phone calls and text messages? When we can really incorporate our entire client journey and build in elements of automation throughout it, we gain so much freaking time back into our day.
And it's a better experience for our clients too, because if we as entrepreneurs have our client journey clear of what people want to experience, what we want them to experience, everybody wins, because it's so much easier for the client to purchase. It's easier for us to give them what they need to help with those pain points and headaches. What are some things that, if we're speaking to someone who is potentially doesn't necessarily know that they want to be an entrepreneur like you were back in the day, like what are some things that people should really do when they're looking to set up their online business for success in 2023?
The first thing I say is just be intentional, right? Because you're talking about like a client journey. And so I think it's really important to even call out intentionality does not have to equal automation. It just doesn't. And I've met businesses that have run that way. They've become very, very clear about their client journey, right? And when I say client journey, I mean, it's your process of how you acquire, nurture, sell, or close more clients and everything like that, right? And it's how you deliver your product, right? So that's your client journey. When you can be intentional about that path and that journey and create a higher experience will always equal higher conversion. When you're intentional about that path, you don't have to leverage automation right now, but you've got to be intentional about it. Every great company out there that is selling at a consistent basis, that has high reviews on Google and all these different places, Amazon, whatever it may be, they all have great, amazing client journeys. So we've got to be intentional about it. And the power of automation is that it can do things for us along that journey. And so if you're just starting off, if you're going through that process, if you're kind of thinking, all right, I'm gonna do this thing, be very intentional about the client journey that you want to create. Be very intentional about the experiences, the emotions, the feelings that you've got to create inside of your clients or leads or prospects in order to get them to take that next step with you. So I think it's intentionality.
Absolutely. I think that's so true. What do you think is important to what's the best way, I guess, to prioritize your time and stay organized as an entrepreneur? Are there systems or processes that you use that have really changed the game for you?
Yeah, totally. I think the first thing to do to kind of stay organized and prioritize your time is be clear on what the crap you're doing and why you're doing it. Right. And I get it. We're entrepreneurs. We've all read like Simon Sinek's book and Start With Why, all that type of stuff. I'm not going there. I'm not trying to say you have to know your why before you do anything. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I think, like for me, I've got 4 knuckleheads. I've been married for 11 years now. And like, that's my why, period. I don't know outside of that often what it is, but that's my why. And the reason why I say like, be clear on those things is because if you're not, then what ends up happening is you work nonstop. You work all day, right? Because as an entrepreneur, your job is never done. There's never like punch your card in, punch your card out. There's always something that you can do or improve and work on and different things like that, right? So you've got to understand that you put the walls on when you're working and when you're not. And I shouldn't even say it like that. You put the walls on when you're working at work and when you're going to go choose to work at home. And once you understand that, now you can start to find the right tools, the right software, the right elements, the right things that will help that thing actually work. So I use a tool called Go High Level. It's a marketing automation software tool. It's a CRM, but it actually can manage my whole day. So it's got my calendar in there. And what it does is we've built it in such a way to remind me when I need to follow up with a client or remind me when I need to have a sales call coming up or different things like that. So we've built in my schedule into this CRM and into this marketing automation platform so that it prompts me and reminds me when things have to be done along that client journey. And then outside of that, I've got a handful of other tools to help kind of manage projects, manage just my calendar and some different things like that. But ultimately, I get to dictate that. And if I don't set the walls on when I'm working at work and when I'm working at home, man, like your life can be crazy because we're never done.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you brought that up because I think that's a huge part of it as entrepreneurs. Like, we could literally work 23 hours a day. I mean, there's always something that needs to be done, but more importantly, there's some pretty fun stuff that we get to do, and you can lose yourself in that. So I'm glad that you brought up about working at work and working at home. And there's two different sections that need to be balanced, and using automation and systems can really help that and make it so you're maximizing your time, whether you are at work or whether you are at home. Now, what are
Totally.
some ways that you found to stay motivated and even to help motivate your team during challenging times or during a very busy season, whether it's a busy season at work or a busy season at home?
Yeah, great question. So I'm going to touch that, and I'm actually going to touch something you just said too, because I think as entrepreneurs we use this word balance a lot, and so this is how I motivate myself and how I motivate my team and how I motivate anybody as well. Is we don't talk about balance. We don't talk about balance at all. The reason why is because I will never be balanced in my work life hours. Let me put it that way, right? Like I'm going to go to work for maybe 8 hours a day, if not more, right? We're entrepreneurs. And like, I don't have that. There's not another 8 hours in the day and sleeping and eating to go spend time with the kids and go. So we don't talk about balance, right? And vice versa. If I'm going to go on vacation with the family, I'm going to spend way more time at family than I'm at work. So it's not necessarily about balance. And I don't want to necessarily trade hours for hours. Let me put it that way. So we don't talk about that. What we talk about is we talk about impact. We talk about maximizing our presence and maximizing our impact in any situation, right? So at home, can I be present enough to create an impact in my kid's life and my wife's life and in anybody else's life, right? If I'm at church, can I be present enough in the moment to actually have an impact? We're here on this podcast right now. Can I be present and not worry about this email or this thing or this, that we're actually going to create an impact in each other's lives? This is not about balance, because impact can happen in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or 6 hours. It doesn't really matter, right? Impact is not relative to time. It's relative to the outcome of the conversation, the meeting, the whatever it may be, right? And so that's where I think power really comes in. So when we're talking me, and I'm like, okay, we're going to have an impact. Can I be present enough in a client meeting, even if it's 5 minutes, that I'm going to be impactful in their life? And I'm looking for some key things, right? Okay, hey, I can automate that, right? And that can save you 14 hours a week or a month, right? And this is a real life examples where those things can take place. Can I be impactful enough or present enough with my kids for 5 minutes where we're wrestling and it's like, man, dad plays with me all the time. Awesome, let's do it, right? And so it's not about balance, it's about impact. And even with my team, I don't like, when anybody comes and joins the team, it's not hourly. Like, hey, okay, I'm going to pay you hourly to be a part of this. Like, that's not how this works. I'm looking for, can you be efficient enough and can you be impactful enough in your role that it makes it work? And shoot, if you can do that in less time, even better.
I love that is such a perfect way to clarify it, because you're right. I feel like that is a term that's so overused when really it ultimately comes down to impact with whoever you're spending time with, whether it is that 15-minute client meeting or that spending time with your family. Because how many times have you been to a dinner with an entrepreneur where they never get off their phone and you're like, come on, dude, I just need like 5 minutes to connect with you? It's maddening. So I'm glad that you brought that up, because I think it's so important.
That's the power. Like, this is the really, really cool thing about automation and software and marketing and CRMs. You can create an impact in somebody's life without actually having to be on a Zoom call or in person. Like, there's immense power that comes through an email or a text message or a video that record beforehand. All of these things, like the intentionality comes in where we're going to create impact in somebody's life. Awesome. But can I automate that now so where I've got a little bit more free time to go be present with other people in their lives as well? And yes, it's kind of this 80-20 rule where 80% of the time it's going to be awesome and amazing, and 20% you might have to step in and kind of help out, right? That's just how automation works. But 80% of the time, think about that. 80% of the time you can be impactful just through a landing page, an email, a text message, a voice memo or call that's delivered. All of those things, you can be impactful without spending or expending an enormous amount of time on your own.
That is the one thing that you said that I was like, yes, I need to do more of that, was where we talked about, and we've talked about this too, about our own businesses, that, making those short videos after you follow up a call with a client, like, can make a huge difference and be ultimately impactful on your client's life, but also in your business. What are some other like success stories, milestones, or things that you're like, this has worked so good for my clients? This is something that everybody should be doing in their business.
If you're not utilizing text message, you should. Like, that's one of the things that right now, like, text marketing is starting to grow, and email marketing is never going to go away. I do not believe it'll ever go away. But when you think about the success of email, we get blown up all the stinking time about emails, and our inboxes are full, and it gets annoying, and I just start checking them off and I get rid of them, right? So that's why if you can get a 20-25% open rate, people are freaking stoked out their mind. Like, I'm stoked if I run, especially like a cold traffic email sequence, and I'm running one of these for my clients, and we can get a 20% open rate, man, we are through the roof. Text message though, you get an 80 to 90% open rate, right? Now, don't get me wrong, you have to earn their trust and earn their the right to text message them. I'm not saying spam people and put it out there. I've seen that too. So you earn the right to do that. And for me, that really is going to come on the front end, right? There's no reason why we talked about lead magnets or free giveaways that you can give in exchange for people's contact information. Make the free giveaway that much cooler and ask for their phone number as well. Yeah, it's a bigger ask. Conversion rate might not be as high, but think about what's going to happen now when you send a text message right away and boom, they reply back and you start having engaging in a conversation. And better yet, think about when you have a bot that takes care of it and it's designed in a way that they know it, but that it's helping them move through the process and the journey. That's one of the biggest wins that we've had with one of our clients is we helped them implement text message marketing into it. They were a medically integrated massage company, and we integrated text message into it. We integrated people and bots and robots and all sorts of really cool stuff, fancy terminology we don't have to get into now. But what it did is it dramatically increased the number of appointments and new patients they got, like just month over month. It was awesome how we were able to just implement a simple text messaging campaign on a reoccurring basis that just flooded their doors with new patients. And as a result, this is the best part about it, right? We don't market just to go make more money. As a result of it, more and more people came into their office, were able to receive actual treatment for their pain and injuries that they were feeling and improve in their life, right? So we market because there's a purpose behind it, go help people. And so we owe it to ourselves. Yes, we owe it to our families, 100%. We also owe it to our clients to help get our message in front of them. And so we're not spamming them. We are messaging them consistently so that they know how to alleviate the pain or the burdens or the hurdles that are happening in their life.
Well, and so many people these days, especially like, who's got time for a chiropractic visit? I mean, especially as an entrepreneur, you're like, I'll do that later. But it's like, if you have someone who's consistently reaching out and saying, hey, don't forget about this, make sure you do this, put yourself first as a priority, because it's just like when you're on the airplane, if you don't put your mask on first, you're not going to be able to help anybody else. So really changing that priority and making ourselves as entrepreneurs that priority, so that way we can serve our family, our clients, our churches, whatever that might be in your life, but being able to serve them because we are healthy. I mean, hello, talk about impactful. That's huge.
And it doesn't have to be spammy. I think sometimes that gets that connotation, right? Automation and spam and email and tech. Oh man, spam. That's not what I'm ever suggesting. Do not spam people and blow them up. Be real, be personal, build into the conversation and the text messages and the language that you're using, your narrative and your messaging is so important. Build into there your voice and your unique message, and just let people know that you're there to help them. That's what we're talking about, not spam. Help. Right? True and honest help.
Absolutely. Nobody likes a spam message. Don't be that guy who does that, because
don't be that guy.
Yeah. Nobody likes that guy. So if this has resonated with people and they're like, you know what? That's what I want to do in my life for this year. That's a goal for me, is to create more time in my business so I can spend it with my family. What's the best way for people to connect with you?
Best way to connect right now, if you come and there's a couple things that I do. I work with entrepreneur dads and we help them be more present and powerful at home. If you're interested in that at all, it's thepresententrepreneur.com. If you're looking for the right software, the right team, the right marketing agency to help your business, right? Okay, hold on. I'm going to pause real fast, right? Because we got this yin and this yang going on, right? Think about this, guys. You want to be more present and powerful at home. Your business has to be stable. It has to be secure and be able to make that happen. The truth is this: if you're worried about putting food on the table, you'll never be present at it. So we have to take care of our business. So that's why we actually have two sides of what we do. Yeah, we're going to teach you to be more powerful and present and impactful at home and how to really maximize your relationship with your spouse and with your kids 100%. We also have this whole other side over here that is designed to help your business become automated, to become systematic, become predictable. And we've got a team that we've got tools that we can just give you and we can help you do that process. We also have a team that can just help that happen as well. And so best way to happen, right? If you're interested on this side, right, come learn about thepresententrepreneur.com. That's where we're at there. Or you can go to blue42agency.com. That is our agency side where we can help you out a ton on that side.
I love that it's both, because really, I mean, that's how our lives are. You know, they're both intermingled. And so it makes sense to have both sides of your company doing two different things, but they connect together so seamlessly.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah. So one last question, because I know you're super busy and you take care of a ton of people. What is one piece of advice that you would give to a small business owner?
One piece of advice I would give is focus on impact, not balance, and focus on the greatest and most important impact that you'll ever create will happen within the walls of your own home. I started The Present Entrepreneur because I was running an agency and I'd work with so many different clients. And I honestly got so freaking sick and tired of working with business owners who would gain more money, more time, more energy, more freedom in their business, and they would neglect their family. Like that to me, right? So you'll hear me say this multiple times, but it's that success without family is the ultimate failure. So focus on impact. Yes, at work. Yes, with your clients. Yes, in life. Yes, freedom. Yes, wealth. All of that amazing crap, right? But the greatest and most important impact that you will ever create in life happens within the walls of your own home. So make sure that your business is serving you. If it's taking all of your time, if it's taking all of your energy, and you sit down at night and don't have any time to give back to your family, to give back to your kids, then it's not serving you, and you need to relook at that. In fact, like if it's not serving you, if you're sitting there like, Jordan, I'm always drained, I have no time, I have no money, I have no energy, come talk to us. Like whatever we got to do to help you out, like come talk to us, because your business has to serve you. It has to give you the freedom so that you can make impact. So that like focus on impact and understand and balance out or manage out how that's playing. Because if you don't have any freedom, you can't create impact, and your business has to serve you.
I love that. And it's so true. So true. Every entrepreneur could benefit from that advice. Thank you so much for sharing that with us and spending time with us today. I really appreciate it.
This was awesome, Jill. Thank you so much. Really appreciate what you do and appreciate how you're helping small businesses. So thank you.
Thank you.